Have you ever went and looked for the Bondo ape?
No, I know what it is, but no, never gone and looked for it.
They're sure that's a real thing.
Really?
Yeah, they've got skulls and hair samples and photographs and video. And for people who don't know what we're talking about, it's a gigantic chimpanzee.
Right.
Like a 6 foot tall chimpanzee, which is just fucking nuts.
And it does walk erect, right?
Yeah. Sometimes, yeah. There's a camera trap photo. There's a guy named Dr. Carl. No, he's not a doctor. I think his name's Carl Harmon. Carl something? Harmon, is that?
Amon.
A-M-M-A-N. Carl Amon. And he's a Swiss wildlife photographer? Anyway, he set up a bunch of camera traps, and he got one of them walking.
Amazing.
And it's freaky. And there's some photos of these gentlemen that shot one near an airstrip.
Huh.
And it's fucking huge. You don't know how big the men are.
Right.
You know, they might be small, and it's in front of them. But it is, without a doubt, like one of the biggest chimpanzees you've ever seen in your life. And it's
In the 1960s and 70s, there were many, many reports of alien abductions. People said, the aliens came to me and they brought me in and then they released me. Do you have any footage? No, they took my camera. Or no, they zapped my film and now there's no image on the film. But there were countless stories. Well, now you can stream live from your camera anything that's going on in front of you. So if the aliens come and they want to abduct you, stream it. That would be instantly viral. Oh my gosh. You know, the stuff that goes viral is much less than that. A kitten that jumps to the table and falls, that goes viral? You don't think a video footage of an alien is not going to go viral instantly? But there's none. So I'm just saying, I'm thinking if we were being visited, somebody would have some good footage.
Social media and the yellow caiman.
Yes.
Dude, that is a wild looking creature.
Isn't it? It's unbelievable.
It was thought to be extinct?
Yeah, so this it's a little confusing. It's a species that was last seen when the last one died in a zoo in the 80s. And because of the region that it occupies in Colombia, which has always been controlled by FARC rebels, nobody had been back down there to look for it. And myself and there's actually this amazing Colombian scientist named Sergio Riena, we're both kind of going and prodding and trying to see if we could get in, and we both found it within a month of each other.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Now, it was a beautiful looking creature. Look at that thing.
Right?
It's such a wild green, yellow color. So wild looking.
It's super unique.
Dude, you're just holding that thing by the neck?
Yeah, we just had a little wrestling match, him and I, so...
Give you the example of Guatemala. Guatemala is a small country. If I remember correctly, it's not much more than 100,000 square kilometers in size. It is filled with intriguing Mayan ruins. Everybody has heard of Tikal. Mm-hmm. What archaeologists didn't know was that literally within walking distance of Tikal, surrounding that whole area were more than 60,000 structures that they hadn't identified. And these have all been identified by LiDAR in a country that's just 100,000 kilometers in area. So you have to ask yourself, in that 5.5 million square kilometers of the Amazon, if LiDAR technology could be applied comprehensively, what would we find beneath there? And the evidence already is extremely tempting and extremely tantalizing. And I'm intrigued by these huge geometrical figures, which involve primarily circles and squares.
So we were in Colombian Amazon, and talk about untouched by people. There's been this kind of ongoing conflict in Colombia for many, many years. So we were the first Westerners to go there in over 60 years. So the village we flew into, they'd literally never seen white people before. And then we went 200 kilometers from that. So middle of nowhere.
Did they want to touch you?
Yeah, hair. Because their hair was very dark and very different. And I'm not particularly fair, but just to touch the hair and see the blue eyes and stuff, they were just loving it.
Friendly?
Super friendly. The culture was very stoic. There wasn't a lot of smiling or crying. There wasn't a lot of emotional exchange. But straight away they came and greeted us, shook hands, said hello. It was really cool.
Another thing they found is that when you're looking at skeletal remains from early people, you still see that separation in the sexes, right? That the males would suffer injuries with a greater prevalence than females. But with the Neanderthals, it seems like they didn't have the sort of duplicity of roles.
So maybe
and the females have the same prevalence of these types of injuries.
Whoa.
And so maybe they didn't have they didn't share that division of labor.
Lost sleep for a week over this. Ready? If you look at the common ancestor between fungus and animals, because the tree of life ultimately has one taproot, okay? And as it splits, it speciates, and you get all these things. The diversity of life on Earth is enabled by the fact that life can speciate. Okay. You look at the common ancestor between animals and fungus. The common ancestor between humans and mushrooms split later than its common ancestor split with green plants. What that means is we and mushrooms are more alike than either we or mushrooms are to green plants.
The fact that it incorporates the dimensions of our planet in its key dimensions, that you can take the height of the Great Pyramid and multiply by 43,200 and you get the polar radius of the Earth. You can measure the base perimeter of the Great Pyramid, multiply it by the same number, you get the equatorial circumference of the Earth. I won't bore you, but that number is not a random number. Anybody who goes into my books will find that it relates to the obscure astronomical phenomenon called precession of the equinoxes. Great Pyramid is almost perfectly aligned to true north within 3/60ths of a single degree. 13-acre footprint, 6 million tons, 481 feet high, and aligned to true north with this incredible precision. I think they're trying to tell us something. The pyramid speaks to our planet. It speaks to this Earth. It's aligned to true north. And it's built on a scale that models the dimensions of the Earth, and that scale is derived from a key motion of the Earth itself. It's very, very clever.
Ever heard the theory that octopus are from out of space?
Yeah, we talked about that
Did
with
you?
Brian Cox the other day.
Yeah, I'm not super well read on it, but
Yeah.
like it looks like a damn alien.
Yeah, he was very incredulous, but he's obviously smarter than both of us.
Right.
So,
So he gets to be.
it's like,
Yeah.
it's like me looking at that, going, "Man, it doesn't make sense." Of course, it doesn't make sense. I'm stupid.
Right.
But he's when we're looking at this, but this is apparently like peer-reviewed, published paper about the possibility of octopus being reintroduced, and I think it has something to do with the way RNA and DNA is
Right.
on them. Right? Do you know?
I don't understand it well, but yes, it's like the thought that the population came from out of space because the DNA sequencing suggests something that makes it extraterrestrial adaptability.